The sky above the ruined city burned with strange colors, blue fire mixing with red clouds, as if the world itself was wounded. The ground was broken, houses were crushed, and long shadows moved across the cracked streets. Somewhere in that silence, something was alive, and something was hiding. A small transport ship landed on the edge of the ruins. Its engines gave a tired sigh before shutting down. From the open door stepped a tall human man with sharp eyes and careful movements. Beside him, holding his hand, was a little girl no older than 7. Her hair glowed golden under the alien light, and her eyes carried both fear and wonder. This was Dr. Elias Ward, a human scientist who had traveled across stars to help broken worlds, and this was his daughter Anna, who refused to stay behind no matter how dangerous the mission. The ruins whispered as they walked. Strange markings covered the walls, alien words half burned by war. Elias moved with purpose, scanning the air with a small device. But Anna did not look at the device. She looked at the shadows. "Dad," she whispered, "someone is watching us." Elias paused. He felt it too, a quiet breath in the air that was not his, a pair of eyes in the dark. Slowly, carefully, he turned. From the broken archway of a ruined building, a figure appeared, tall, thin, wrapped in torn cloth. It was an alien woman, her skin pale like stone, her eyes glowing faint silver, but she kept her head bowed as if ashamed to be seen. Anna stepped closer, but Elias put a protective arm before her. The alien woman did not speak at first. She seemed to struggle, her chest rising and falling in sharp, painful gasps. When she finally raised her head, Anna saw scars across her cheeks and a mark burned deep into her skin, a mark of exile. Elias spoke gently. "We are not here to hurt you. We came to help," but the alien shook her head. Her voice was low and broken. "Humans should not see me." Anna tilted her head. "Why not?" The woman turned away, hiding half her face behind her cloth. Her voice trembled. "Because I am ugly, broken, a shame to my people. Better that I stay unseen." Elias felt the sting of those words. He had heard them before on many worlds. War left more than ruins. It left souls who could no longer look at themselves. But before he could speak, Anna slipped past his arm. The little girl walked right up to the alien woman and looked at her closely without fear. "Dad," Anna whispered, her voice almost a secret. "She's beautiful." The alien froze. Her silver eyes widened, filling with something she could not hide. Pain, disbelief, and hope all at once. No one had called her beautiful in years. Not even her own people. Elias saw the woman tremble. He noticed again how her chest heaved with effort, every breath a struggle. Something inside him tightened. His device confirmed it, her lungs were failing. She was dying slowly. The alien woman noticed his look and pulled her torn cloth tighter. "Do not waste your pity on me, human. I am already dead." But Anna shook her head, her small voice steady. "You're not dead. You're here, and you're so beautiful." Those words struck harder than any weapon. The alien turned away quickly, but her hands shook. She wanted to hide her face, yet she could not hide from the child's eyes. Elias stepped forward now, lowering his voice. "What is your name?" The alien hesitated. Her lips pressed together as if the name itself was forbidden. At last she said, "My name is Serenia." The name floated in the air, heavy with sorrow. Elias nodded. "Serenia, your lungs are failing, aren't they?" Serenia flinched, anger flashing in her silver eyes. "Do not speak of it." "It is my punishment. My people left me here because I am weak. If you tell them, they will finish what the war began." Elias kept calm. "I am a doctor. I've built machines that help people breathe. I can help you." But Serenia's face twisted in fear. "No, to accept help from humans is dishonor. Galactic law forbids it. If you change me, if you touch my body with your machines, the punishment is death. Not only for me, but for you." Anna tugged at her father's sleeve. Her eyes were wide, confused. "Dad, then we can't help her?" Elias stayed silent. His mind was already working, already breaking rules inside his head. He had seen too much suffering to stop now. But he also knew the danger was real. Serenia turned away again, coughing hard, her body shaking. She leaned against the ruined wall, each breath like broken glass. Anna stepped forward again, reaching out her tiny hand. "Please don't hide. You're not ugly. You're not broken." For the first time, Serenia looked straight into the girl's eyes, and in that moment something changed. The silence of the ruined city grew heavy, almost alive. Elias felt it too. This was no ordinary meeting. Fate had brought them here, a human scientist, his innocent daughter, and an alien woman drowning in her own shame. But he also felt the weight of danger. If he chose to help Serenia, Galactic law would not forgive. The wind howled through the broken streets, carrying dust and memories. Elias stood frozen between fear and hope. Anna's words still echoed in the air. "Dad, she's beautiful." And Serenia, trembling, whispered only one word in return. "Why?" The ruins were quiet after that moment, yet the silence felt heavy. The wind moved through broken buildings, carrying whispers of a history long destroyed. Elias stood still, staring at Serenia, the alien woman who had spoken her name like it was a wound. Anna held her father's hand but kept looking at Serenia. There was no fear in her small eyes, only curiosity and kindness. Serenia tried to hide again, turning her body away, but her chest betrayed her. Every breath was harsh, every gasp a reminder of her weakness. She hated that the humans could hear it. Elias spoke softly, careful not to push too far. "You are sick. How long have you lived like this?" Serenia did not answer. Her silver eyes stared at the broken ground. At last her voice came low and bitter. "Since the day the war ended. Since the day my people cursed me." Anna tilted her head. "Cursed you? Why?" The alien's lips trembled. Her hands pulled the cloth tighter around her face. "Because I survived when stronger ones died. Because I was left with scars. They said I was no longer whole, no longer worthy." Elias felt his chest tighten. He had seen this before. Cultures where weakness was punished, where survival itself became a crime. But hearing it in Serenia's cracked voice made it hit harder. Serenia turned suddenly, her eyes sharp. "You humans do not understand. Your kind builds machines to fix weakness. My kind destroys it. To be weak is to shame the bloodline." Anna's small voice cut through. "But you didn't choose to be sick." That simple truth struck Serenia like lightning. She shook her head violently, anger covering her pain. "It does not matter. I am a shadow now, a scar that walks. My own people spit when they see me." Elias wanted to argue, but he stayed silent. He knew her shame was a cage built over years. Words alone could not break it. Anna stepped closer, ignoring her father's warning hand. She looked up at Serenia with innocent eyes. "My mom used to say, 'Scars mean you lived. Scars mean you're strong.'" Serenia froze. Her breath caught. No one had ever told her that. To her people, scars were filth. But this child spoke as if scars were a crown. Memories burned in Serenia's mind before the war when she was young and proud. She had danced under the twin moons of her world. Her voice once sang in the great halls of her people. She was beautiful then, desired, respected. Then the bombs came, the smoke, the fire, the poison in the air. She had dragged herself from the ruins, lungs damaged forever. Her body changed, her face scarred. When she returned, her people turned their faces away. She was marked, rejected, sent into exile. For years she had lived in silence, hiding her broken breath, hiding her ruined skin. Now this little human girl looked at her without disgust, without fear, and said she was beautiful. It hurt more than the exile. It hurt because some part of her wanted to believe it. Elias broke the silence. "Serenia, I know you don't trust me, but your lungs are failing. If they collapse completely, no shame will matter. You will die." Serenia glared at him. Better to die in silence than live in disgrace. But Anna shouted suddenly, surprising them both. "No, that's not true." Her small fists clenched. Her voice shook but did not break. "If you die, then you'll never see the sky again. You'll never feel the wind. You'll never hear music or laugh. Isn't life more important than shame?" Serenia stared at the child, unable to speak. The girl stepped closer, her voice soft now. "My dad helps people. That's what he does, and I don't want you to go away." Serenia's chest ached, not from sickness, but from something she had not felt in years. Hope fighting with despair. At last she whispered, "You are only a child. You cannot understand the weight of dishonor." Anna looked back at her father, then at Serenia. "Maybe not. But I know the weight of sadness, and you carry it every second." Elias's device beeped softly. He checked the screen. Serenia's oxygen levels were falling faster. Time was running out. He stepped forward. "Listen to me, Serenia. I can build artificial lungs, machines that breathe when your body cannot. I can save you." The alien's eyes went wide, fear, anger, longing all at once. Artificial lungs? You would put human metal inside me? You would make me less than alien? Less than pure? That is forbidden. Her voice echoed in the ruins, sharp and broken. Elias did not look away. It is not about purity. It is about life. Serenia shook her head wildly. You do not understand. Galactic law is clear. To alter alien flesh with human machines is a crime. If you touch me, if you give me your lungs, the law will condemn you. Death will follow you both. The words hung heavy. Anna's face paled. Elias stayed calm, but his heart raced. He spoke slowly. Then let them condemn me. I will not stand by while you die. Serenia gasped, her body shaking. She looked at him as if he were mad. Anna took Serenia's hand gently, her small fingers curling around the alien's trembling ones. Please, she whispered. Don't be afraid. My dad won't let you die. Serenia felt the warmth of that tiny hand, and for the first time in years, tears filled her silver eyes. She turned away quickly, ashamed to show weakness, but her body betrayed her again. A violent cough shook her, blood staining her lips. She stumbled against the wall, gasping, her lungs failing faster. Elias rushed forward. His voice was firm now, no longer soft. Serenia, you are out of time. Whether you allow me or not, I must act. If I wait, you will not survive the night. Serenia clutched her chest, torn between pride and the terror of death. Her voice broke as she whispered, I do not want to need you. I do not want to be saved by humans. Anna pulled on her hand again. Her voice was steady, innocent and powerful. But maybe needing someone is not weakness. Maybe it's family. The alien woman's eyes widened. The word family struck her heart like fire in the dark. She had no answer. The ruins fell silent again, broken only by her labored breathing. And in that silence, Elias made his choice. The night had fallen over the ruins, but the broken city never slept. Strange lights flickered in the sky. The aftermath of war still trapped in the atmosphere. The air was heavy, filled with dust and whispers of things long gone. Elias sat near the wreck of his small ship, tools spread out on the ground like the pieces of a puzzle. He stared at them, his hands steady but his mind storming. Across from him, Serenia sat against a ruined wall, wrapped in her torn cloth. Her silver eyes closed as she fought for every breath. Anna sat between them, her small hands folded in her lap. She kept glancing from her father to Serenia, as if waiting for something to break the silence. Elias finally spoke, his voice low but firm. If I do nothing, Serenia will die. That much is certain. Serenia opened her eyes and glared at him weakly. Then let me die. It is the path already chosen. Elias leaned forward, his jaw tightening. No, I refuse to watch someone suffer when I have the power to save them. Serenia's voice shook, but her pride was sharp. You speak of saving me as if it were simple, but it is not. To take your machines into my body is to break the law of the galaxy. It is a crime, Elias Ward. They will not forgive you. Anna's small voice rose, innocent yet strong. But why is it wrong to save someone? The alien's eyes softened for a moment, but then she looked away. Because it means I could not survive on my own. Because it means I am less than what I was born to be. My people believe weakness is a poison. To carry it is shame. To fix it with human hands is worse than death. Elias shook his head. No culture, no law, no belief is worth more than a life. Anna moved closer to Serenia, her voice gentle. You're not weak. You're strong. You lived through things I can't even imagine. Isn't that strong? Serenia trembled. The child's words pierced deeper than any argument. But still, her pride held her back. She closed her eyes, whispering, You do not understand. You are a child, and your father is a fool. Anna frowned, looking at her dad. He's not a fool. He's my dad. He helps people. That's who he is. The silence stretched. Elias kept his gaze on Serenia. He spoke quietly, almost like a confession. I once failed to save someone long ago. I swore I would never fail again. If I let you die here, Serenia, then I break that vow. I cannot do it. Serenia's silver eyes widened slightly. You lost someone? Elias nodded, his eyes distant. My wife, Anna's mother. A sickness I could not cure. I built machines too late. If I had been faster, maybe she would still be alive. Anna lowered her head. She had heard this story before, but every time it was spoken, it carried the same heavy weight. Serenia looked at him, the fire of her anger dimming. For the first time, she saw not only a human scientist, but a man scarred by his own loss. but her voice still carried resistance. Even if I agreed, even if I wanted this, your machines are human. My body is alien. They will not work. Elias allowed a small, determined smile. That is what they said the first time I built them. And the second? But I proved them wrong each time. Life adapts. Machines adapt. If I have to spend every hour of this night making them fit you, I will. Anna's eyes lit with hope. She grabbed Serenya's hand again. See, he can do it. Please let him. Serenya pulled her hand back, torn between fear and longing. Her pride screamed for her to refuse, but her failing lungs betrayed her. Another violent cough racked her body, blood staining her lips again. Elias was already moving toward her, scanning her chest with his device. The readings were worse now. Much worse. He looked directly into her silver eyes. If you refuse me, you will not live to see the next dawn. That is the truth. Serenya's lips trembled. For a long moment she said nothing. Then in a voice so faint it was almost a whisper, she spoke. And if I agree? If I let you put your human machines inside me? What then? Elias did not flinch. Then you live. And if the law comes for me, so be it. I will stand before them and tell them I did not regret saving a life. Anna's hand squeezed Serenya's arm. Her voice was full of simple, pure certainty. If the law says it's wrong to save you, then maybe the law is wrong. The alien woman stared at the child, her eyes wide with shock. No one had ever spoken to her like that. No one had ever dared to challenge the law for her. Her body shook as she coughed again, collapsing against the wall. Elias caught her before she fell. Her breathing was shallow, her pulse faint. Serenya, he said firmly, I can't wait any longer. The decision must be made now. The alien's eyes filled with tears shimmering under the broken sky. Her voice cracked as she whispered, Do what you must. Elias nodded, his heart heavy but determined. He laid her gently on the ground, already pulling his tools closer. Anna knelt beside Serenya, holding her hand tightly. The night grew colder. The stars above seemed to watch as Elias prepared to defy the galaxy itself. He knew the risk, he knew the punishment, but one truth burned brighter than all others. He would not let her die, and so the human made his decision. The ruins echoed with the sound of tools. Sparks flashed in the dark as Elias worked, his hands moving with speed and focus. Metal parts lay scattered across a broken stone table, wires twisting like veins of silver and copper. Piece by piece, he shaped something that looked almost alive. Anna sat nearby, her small chin resting on her knees. She watched her father work with wide eyes. The glow of his tools lit his face, sharp with determination. He was building not just a machine, but a chance at life. Serenya sat in the shadows, leaning against the cracked wall. Her chest rose and fell with painful effort. Every breath felt like fire in her lungs, but her pride still chained her tongue. She wanted to tell him to stop. She wanted to scream that she was not worth breaking laws for. But each time she opened her mouth, Anna's soft gaze silenced her. Elias spoke without looking up. Your body is rejecting its own air. I need to build filters as well as lungs, or the poison will kill you even if you can breathe. Serenya's voice was sharp, though weak. Do you not hear yourself? You speak as if I am a machine to be repaired. Elias paused, lifting his eyes to hers. His tone was calm but unshakable. No, you are not a machine, but I will not stand by and let life fade when I have the power to hold it. Anna looked at Serenya with innocent honesty. He fixed me once when I was sick. Everyone else gave up, but he didn't. He doesn't give up. Serenya's silver eyes flickered. She had never met a child who spoke so boldly. There was no fear in Anna's words, no doubt. Only belief. Still, Serenya whispered, if the council learns of this, they will condemn him. They may even condemn you, child. Anna frowned, her little hands balled into fists. Then let them. If saving someone is wrong, then the council is wrong. Serenya flinched. The words carried the force of something she had forgotten. Defiance. Once, long ago, she too had spoken against the rules of her people. Once she had been proud. But shame had stolen that voice. Elias turned his attention back to the device. He fit two curved shells of metal together, their surface glowing faint blue as the power core hummed. It looked almost like a pair of silver wings, small enough to rest inside a chest but strong enough to pull air from poison. Anna whispered, They're beautiful. Elias allowed a faint smile. They have to be. Life deserves nothing less. Serenya's breath hitched. She looked at the half-finished lungs and felt fear twist inside her. To accept them meant admitting weakness. To carry them meant breaking the sacred law, but to refuse meant death. Her heart battled itself. Hours passed as Elias worked, sweat covering his brow. He tested wires, adjusted circuits, reshaped the shells. Anna helped where she could, handing tools, wiping dirt from the parts. She hummed quietly a tune her mother once sang. The sound filled the ruins with a strange warmth. Serenia listened, her chest aching not just from sickness but from longing. That melody reminded her of her own childhood, when she had sung under the twin moons before scars, before exile. For a moment she forgot the pain, then she coughed again, hard and violent. Blood stained her hand. Elias dropped his tools and rushed to her side. "You're fading faster than I expected," he muttered, scanning her. His eyes hardened. "I have to finish tonight." Serenia shook her head weakly. "You risk everything. If they catch you," Elias cut her off. "If they catch me, I will stand before them. But I will stand knowing I saved you." Anna reached out and touched Serenia's hand. "Please don't give up. Please let him save you." Serenia looked at the child, her silver eyes wet with tears. She whispered almost to herself, "Why do you care so much? Why do humans care for those not their own?" Anna smiled softly. "Because family doesn't always mean blood. Sometimes it means choosing not to let someone be alone." The words pierced Serenia's heart deeper than any weapon. She had lived in exile for years, surrounded by silence, believing herself unworthy of touch, of love, of family. And now this child spoke as if she already belonged. For the first time, Serenia lowered her guard. She let Anna's small hand stay in hers. She let herself feel the warmth. Elias worked faster now, each second heavy with urgency. Finally, he lifted the finished lungs into the air. They glowed softly, silver and blue, humming with energy. They looked alive, as if they could breathe for themselves. "They're ready," Elias said quietly. Anna's eyes shone with awe, but Serenia stared at them with terror. "If you put those inside me, I will no longer be pure. I will no longer be who I was." Elias knelt before her, holding the lungs carefully. His voice was steady. "You will be who you choose to be, not who the law tells you to be, not who shame tells you to be." Serenia trembled. The air felt heavy. Her heart raced. The choice before her was heavier than the stars themselves. Anna squeezed her hand and whispered, "Please, Serenia, don't leave me." Serenia closed her eyes, tears falling. For the first time in years, she whispered not with pride but with surrender. "Do it," Elias nodded. He placed the glowing lungs beside her and prepared his tools. Anna stayed close, holding Serenia's hand as the alien woman lay down on the cold stone. The ruins around them seemed to hold their breath. The night was filled with the hum of forbidden science, the warmth of human defiance, and the fragile hope of a life about to change. But in the shadows beyond the ruins, unseen eyes were already watching. Word of the humans' crime was spreading, and galactic law would not stay blind for long. The new lungs glowed faintly in the pale night, resting on the stone like silver wings ready to take flight. Elias wiped sweat from his brow, his hands still trembling from the long hours of work. His tools lay scattered, spent and humming quietly. Anna leaned forward, staring at the strange creation with wide eyes. "They're so beautiful," she whispered, as if afraid her voice might break them. But Serenia could not look at them for long. Her silver eyes turned away, filled with fear. Her chest rose and fell in painful gasps, her body begging for the machine's gift, yet her pride and shame clung to her like iron chains. Elias sat back on his heels, his voice steady. "They are ready. All that remains is the choice." Serenia's lips trembled. "You do not understand the danger. If the council discovers this, if my people learn of it, they will punish you. They may kill you. They may kill the child." Anna gasped softly and looked up at her father, but Elias did not flinch. His voice was calm, as though he had already made peace with it. "I would rather face their judgment than watch you die." Serenia's gaze sharpened. Why risk everything for me?" "I'm nothing to you," Elias met her eyes. His voice was low but fierce. "You are not nothing. No life is nothing. And I will not teach my daughter that some lives are worth less than others." Anna's hand found Serenia's again, small fingers curling around her scarred palm. "He's right. You're not nothing. You're family now." Serenia shook her head violently, tears gathering in her eyes. "Family, you know nothing of my people. To us, weakness is a curse. To accept help from outsiders is worse than death. If I let you do this, I betray everything I was born to be." Her voice cracked with the weight of shame. Anna leaned closer, her small voice trembling but brave. Maybe your people are wrong. Maybe they forgot that family means helping when someone can't stand alone. Serenia stared at the child, the words striking deep. A part of her wanted to believe them. Another part wanted to scream. Her chest burned with every breath, and still she resisted. Elias stood and gathered his tools again. There is no more time for argument. Your body is failing faster than I expected. If I wait any longer, even the lungs won't be enough. Before Serenia could reply, a sound echoed through the ruins. Boots on broken stone. Elias froze. Anna's eyes went wide. Serenia's heart raced with fear. From the shadows emerged two figures cloaked in the dark robes of the alien order. Their eyes glowed faint in the night, and their voices carried authority. One of them spoke, his tone sharp as a blade. We have heard whispers of a human defying the sacred law, building forbidden machines for one who should have accepted her fate. Serenia's blood ran cold. She knew these men. They were watchers, keepers of the council's law. Their presence meant danger had already found them. Elias stepped forward, placing himself between the strangers and his daughter. His jaw was firm, his hands steady despite the pounding of his heart. She is dying. I will not stop. The first watcher's eyes narrowed. You dare to speak against the council? You dare to alter what was decreed unworthy? The second one sneered. Do you not know the punishment? For such crimes humans have been erased before. You will join them. Anna's small body shook, but she held Serenia's hand tighter, refusing to let go. Don't hurt him, she cried, her voice echoing in the ruins. The watchers turned their gaze on her, and for a moment, Serenia felt fire rise in her chest. Weak as she was, the sight of the child in danger broke through her shame. She pushed herself upright, coughing blood, but her silver eyes burned. Leave the girl, she rasped. She has done nothing. The watchers looked back at Elias. Then stop your work. Let her die as the law demands. Elias's voice was iron. No. The silence after that word was sharp, cutting through the night. The watchers stepped closer, their presence heavy, their authority suffocating. But Elias did not move. He stood like a wall, his daughter at his back, Serenia at his side. Serenia's heart shook. She saw it clearly now. The man was willing to risk his life, even his daughter's safety, for her. A woman he barely knew. An exile her own people had abandoned. Why? Why would a human care so much? Her voice broke as she whispered, Elias, I cannot let you do this. But Anna looked up at her with bright, tear-filled eyes. Please don't say that. Please don't give up. You're strong, Serenia. You just don't believe it yet. Something shattered inside the alien woman. The shame, the fear, the chains of exile. They cracked under the weight of the child's simple truth. The watchers stepped closer, their eyes cold. Choose, human. End your work, or face death by law. Elias looked at them, then at Serenia. His face was calm, but his voice carried the fire of his choice. Then I choose life. Always life. The watchers stiffened, rage flashing in their eyes. But before they could act, Serenia's body failed her again. She collapsed to the ground, gasping, her breath shallow and broken. Elias dropped to her side, his tools in hand. He shouted over his shoulder, Anna, stay back! Anna's voice rose, filled with desperate faith. Dad, please save her, please. The watchers moved closer, their hands glowing with the power of judgment. But Elias had already made his choice. He bent over Serenia, his tools alive with light, his defiance burning against the weight of the galaxy. And in that moment, Serenia understood the truth. This was no longer just about her life. It was about something greater. A human daring to challenge the law. A child daring to call an exile family. The risk was no longer just his. It was theirs together. The ruins burned with tension. Two alien watchers stood tall in the shadows, their robes black as the broken night. Their eyes glowed faint silver, fixed on Elias like blades ready to strike. Anna clung to Serenia's hand, refusing to move, her small frame trembling yet unbroken. Serenia lay on the cold stone, her breaths shallow and ragged. Her chest rattled with every gasp. Blood marked her lips and her eyes rolled weakly toward Elias. The human scientist knelt beside her, his tools spread like weapons of defiance. Elias Ward. One watcher hissed. Cease this crime now. To alter her body is to spit on the law. Stop or be erased, but Elias didn't stop. His hands moved fast, steady as steel. He powered the artificial lungs, their silver shells glowing with soft blue light. "If your law demands I watch someone die when I can save them," he said coldly, "then your law deserves to be broken." The watchers stepped forward, their hands lifting, energy humming between their fingers. Anna's cry split the silence. "Don't touch him! Don't hurt my dad!" Her voice echoed through the ruins like a bell of innocence. Serena's eyes flickered open, catching the sound, and for the first time in years, fire stirred inside her broken chest. "Stop," she rasped, her voice hoarse but fierce. "The child is not your enemy." But the watchers ignored her. One raised his hand higher, power crackling in the air. "This is your last warning, human." Elias did not look up. His voice cut like iron. "Then strike me down. But I will not let her die." The watchers hesitated. Even they seemed shaken by the man's defiance. Anna crawled closer to Serena, holding her hand tightly. Tears filled her eyes, but her words were clear. "Please stay alive. Please fight. You're not ugly. You're not broken. You're beautiful." Serena's heart twisted. Shame and pain had chained her for years, but this child's words cracked those chains again. She squeezed Anna's tiny hand, whispering weakly, "You are too brave for one so small." Anna shook her head. "No, you're brave. You just forgot." The words cut through Serena like fire through ice. Elias leaned closer now, his tools glowing as he prepared to make the final incision. "Serena," he said firmly, "you must trust me. This is the only way." Her silver eyes met his. In them was fear, but also something new, hope. Her lips trembled as she whispered, "Do it." The operation began. Elias's hands moved fast, precise, every motion practiced but heavy with risk. Sparks hissed as alien tissue met human metal. The artificial lungs glowed brighter, pulsing as if they were alive. Serena gasped, her body arching, torn between life and death. Anna held her hand, whispering softly, "It's okay. You're safe. You're family now." The watchers stepped closer, rage building. "Enough, this crime will not be allowed." But before they could strike, a roar filled the night. More figures emerged from the ruins, an entire group of alien enforcers, their armor gleaming, their weapons ready. The council had arrived. The leader, cloaked in crimson, stepped forward. His voice thundered, "Human, you stand guilty of violating sacred law. You dare alter alien flesh with your machines?" Elias did not stop working. His voice was steady. "I dare to save a life." The council leader's eyes burned. "You condemn yourself. When the sun rises, you will hang for this." Anna's small voice broke the silence. She stood in front of her father, her fists clenched, her eyes wet but unyielding. "No, he's not guilty. He's saving her. He's saving Serena." The council murmured, uneasy at the child's boldness. The leader sneered. "A child's words mean nothing." Serena's chest heaved, her body trembling as the new lungs began to hum inside her. Her eyes shot open, brighter than before. She pushed herself up on shaking arms, her voice rising with sudden strength. "They mean everything." The council turned to her, shock in their eyes. She coughed, but her voice grew steadier with every breath. "This human has done what my own people would not. He gave me life when you gave me exile. He gave me hope when you gave me shame. And this child..." She looked at Anna, her silver eyes shining with tears. "This child reminded me that I am not broken, that I am still worthy." The watchers stepped back, unsettled. The council leader scowled. "You speak with a machine's breath. You are no longer pure. You are no longer one of us." Serena rose slowly to her feet, still trembling but alive, her lungs glowing faintly under her skin. "Then I choose impurity. I choose life. And I will not be silent while you condemn the ones who saved me." Her voice carried like thunder through the ruins. The council's authority trembled before it. Elias stood, his arm around his daughter. His heart pounded, but he saw the change. The law had been challenged not by him alone, but by the very woman it condemned. Anna smiled through her tears, whispering, "See, Dad? She's so beautiful." The council leader's face darkened. "Then so be it. If you defy the law, you will face its fire. Tomorrow, human, you will be judged." The soldiers moved in, surrounding them, weapons glowing. Serena stood before Elias and Anna, her body weak but her spirit blazing. For the first time in years, she did not feel shame. She felt only defiance. The trial of fire had begun. The ruins of the city became a courtroom under the stars. Soldiers in silver armor stood in a ring, their weapons glowing faint blue. At the center stood Elias, his hands bound with energy cuffs, his face calm but his eyes burning with resolve. Anna clung to his side, refusing to leave him. No chains could hold her. She stood like a small flame in the dark, her voice ready to defend him no matter the cost. Sirenia stood tall before the council. Her body still trembled from the surgery, but her chest rose steady now. The artificial lungs pulsed faintly under her skin, glowing like embers. Each breath was proof of Elias's crime and his triumph. The council leader's voice thundered across the ruins. Elias, Ward of Earth, you are guilty of violating galactic law. You have altered alien flesh with human machines. The punishment is death. A murmur ran through the gathered crowd of aliens, soldiers, watchers, and exiles who had come to witness. Some nodded in agreement. Others looked uneasy. Anna cried out, her small fists clenched. No, he's not guilty. He saved Sirenia, the council leader sneered. Child, silence yourself. The law does not hear the voice of the young. But Sirenia's voice rang out clear and sharp. Then it will hear mine. The crowd stirred as she stepped forward, her silver eyes blazing. The scars on her face caught the starlight, no longer symbols of shame but of survival. She pointed to Elias. This man gave me back my life. My own people abandoned me. They left me to die because I was weak, because I was broken. But this human saw worth where you saw nothing. The leader spat the words like poison. You live with a machine's breath. You are no longer one of us. You shame your bloodline. Sirenia's voice cracked like thunder. Then let my shame speak. If purity means abandoning life, then purity is a curse. If law means letting the weak die, then law is rot. I would rather breathe with human hands than suffocate under your silence. The crowd gasped. Some soldiers lowered their weapons, uncertain. Elias met her eyes, pride swelling in his chest. For the first time, Sirenia was no longer hiding. She was standing. Anna stepped forward too, her small voice trembling but fierce. My dad isn't guilty. He didn't break the law, he broke chains. He saved someone who wanted to live. If that's wrong, then maybe your law is wrong. Her words struck harder than any blade. The crowd grew restless, whispers rising. The innocence of a child speaking against the council could not be ignored. The leader's face darkened, fury boiling in his eyes. You dare to defy us? The law is eternal. It cannot be broken. Sirenia lifted her head high. Laws are made by people, and people can change. Perhaps it is time this law died. The silence that followed was heavy as stone. Every soldier, every watcher, every exile held their breath. Elias spoke at last, his voice calm but carrying across the ruins. I am only a man, a father, a doctor. I did not come here to challenge your galaxy. I came to save one life. But if saving one life is rebellion, then so be it. Humanity will always choose life. Anna squeezed his hand, whispering softly, So beautiful, Dad. Tears filled Elias's eyes. But he did not look away from the council. The leader raised his hand, power crackling, ready to strike judgment. But then something unexpected happened. One soldier lowered his weapon. Then another, and another. Soon half the ring had dropped their arms, their eyes fixed on Sirenia. They had seen her scars, her exile, her survival, and now they saw her alive, breathing with human lungs, standing with defiance. One voice rose from the crowd. She is right, another followed. The law is wrong. The whispers grew, building into a wave. The council leader's face twisted with rage as his control crumbled. Sirenia stepped closer, her voice rising like a song. You can call me impure. You can call me broken. But you cannot deny what you see. I live, I breathe, and I am not ashamed. She turned, her eyes sweeping the crowd. This human gave me back my life. If you condemn him, then you condemn hope itself. The crowd erupted. Some shouted in support, others in anger, but the tide had turned. The law that once seemed unbreakable now stood trembling under the weight of one act of kindness. The council leader's power dimmed in his hand. He looked around and saw his authority slipping away. With a final glare, he lowered his arm. This is not the end. The law will remember. He turned sharply, his robes whipping through the dust, and the soldiers followed, though not all. Many stayed behind, their eyes on Elias, Sirenia, and the child who had spoken truth. The silence that followed was deep. Sirenia turned to Elias, her silver eyes wet with tears. She touched her chest, feeling the steady hum of her new lungs. You risked everything. For me. Elias shook his head gently. No, for life. Anna smiled, hugging Serenya's arm. And because you're family now. For the first time in years, Serenya smiled. A real smile, soft and trembling, but alive. Family, she whispered, as if tasting the word for the first time. The stars above shone brighter, and the ruins felt less broken. Elias looked out at the night sky, knowing the galaxy would not forget what happened here. Maybe punishment would still come. Maybe the law would still hunt him. But he had no regrets. Because tonight humanity had shown the galaxy something greater than law, greater than shame, compassion. And in the heart of a little girl's simple words, the truth was clear. Humans are beautiful too.